So I came across this motivation board on LinkedIn. Uh, it was by a student preparing for CAT and bunch of post-its they had put together, trying to keep them motivated. So after going through that board, I had some thoughts, so I thought I'll share those with you also. Now, before I get into it, a couple of disclaimers. One, I have not taken permission from the person who created that board. I hope they don't mind. My expectation is that hopefully they will also gain a different perspective, or at least a, an option. They will understand that things can be seen from a different perspective also. Whether they see value in it, they choose to take that or not is obviously up to them. But yeah, I do hope that they get some value if they come across it. Second, I myself do many of the things that are mentioned in the board, you will see. So I am not making this video to show, look how great I am. This is not the kind of silly things that I do. These are only dumb people who do such things. Nothing like that. Why am I still making this video? Because I believe that there is an alternate way to think about many of these things. And I have started believing more and more that perhaps in many cases that alternate way is in fact better. So I'm sharing my thoughts here. All right. So that's the board. I'll give you a quick second to take a look around if you'd like. You might need to zoom in at a few places. So it's for CAT, but the same thing applies to GMAT also. So this could very well be for GMAT as well. Now, let's go through a few of these things. You know, you can do it. Great. I love that. Starting point. Believe that, yeah, if you put in the efforts, if you put in the time and the efforts required, then yes, you can get there. You will get there. Love that. If it was that easy, everyone would do it. Sure. Yeah. Makes sense. Right? You will need to put in hard work. Now, let's look at this one here. Every time you choose scrolling over studying, you're going backwards. So, starting point, scrolling bad, studying good, all in favor. I don't have an issue with that. I do have an issue with the framing. Every time you choose scrolling over studying, you're going backwards. Every time. Really? You want to be that strict with yourself? That if ever you even pick up the phone and scroll, then oh, you have taken a step backward. You've basically failed in your endeavor, at least to an extent. It doesn't leave a lot of room for celebrating, it seems to me. I would rather have it the other way around. If you are able to study 4 hours in a day, and then even if you're scrolling and other things aside on the side, fine. But if you're able to take out 4 hours a day, that's a great win. So I won't look at it as, oh man, you could have studied 8 hours without scrolling or doing other things, but you only studied for 6 hours. So you wasted 2 hours. You went backwards in those 2 hours. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Everything else is secondary. Everything else is secondary, really? Sure, of course, priorities are required. But I find that in my experience with GMAT tutoring, when students prepare with this mindset that, oh, I'm going to shut everything else off, no socializing, no friends, no working out, nothing, no entertainment, nothing except for GMAT, GMAT, GMAT. And if they're working or in college, all right, so that's there, but nothing apart from these things. While it makes sense, I guess, to an extent that I want to power through the journey and I want to get it done as soon as I can. The challenge is one that anyway, it's an aptitude test. It's not a test that if you spend 12 hours a day and then you just keep at it, you'll get better. Beyond a point, the brain will stop actually learning new things. Think about it. If you want to get fitter, if you want to get a set of six-pack abs, will you start working out 12 hours a day? Nothing else? No, you do an hour, 2 hours, whatever that duration might be, and then that's it. You need to give your body time to recover. Same principle applies here. And to help the mind recover, these other things, family, friends, socializing, entertainment, physical activity, those things help. So I hope the person meant secondary in terms of I'm not going to stop doing them. But sure, okay, maybe I'm prioritizing GMAT more. Although even that's debatable. I wouldn't prioritize GMAT over health, for example. I wouldn't prioritize GMAT over family. Maybe I would prioritize GMAT over hanging out with friends 10 hours a day every day, but I wouldn't prioritize GMAT over even meeting my friends once for a coffee over a weekend. Hmm. Studying now is better than leaving the exam room wishing you would have studied more. Okay, sure. I don't have thoughts on this. This one I found interesting. The only revenge. No comments. I don't know what's going on in that person's life. But somehow this MBA entrance exam has become a revenge. Interesting. ROI of these 3 months is ooh la la. Funny. My only issue here, again, something very common in GMAT and CAT, is this somehow this 3 months figure. Why these exams take 3 months? Not necessary. I keep talking about this in a lot of my other content also. I'm if you've been involved with my content or with me in any capacity, I'm sure you would have heard this from me before. There is no fixed number of months that everybody takes. I can go on and on, make a complete video about this. I'm not going to go in detail right now. But if you are preparing with a very fixed timeline in mind, the challenge is that if you are not able to achieve success in that short timeline, you start deciding that you are a failure because the timeline was fine. You only could not manage. Whereas the issue could be related to the timeline itself. Hmm. Come on, bro, it's really not that hard. Interesting for me. On the one hand, if it was easy, everyone would do it. On the other hand, it's not that hard. So I guess, all right, fine, you have to put in efforts, but it's not like, oh, it's unsurmountable for me. I see value in that. The much needed comeback. So maybe the person didn't have a great education background so far, and now they want to use MBA to get a degree from one of those top schools, and then so that they can also be proud of their alma maters, I guess. I'm guessing here completely, but I've heard some form of the story in the past from many people. So I'm assuming maybe that's what comeback means here. Well and good, but the way I see it, it's adding pressure. Oh, now you have to do this for a comeback also. See, realize so far, I haven't seen a reason. Oh, you do well on the CAT or the GMAT, you get into an MBA, you learn those managerial skills. You go and study for 2 hours, 2 years there, or 1 year, and you learn a lot of things. And then your career grows after that because of your learning. That's never mentioned. The benefits of MBA, and I'm not talking about salaries and all, but the true learning, that's never mentioned, right? So the much needed comeback again looks like a social status thing more than a true endeavor to learn. So I have my questions about that. Stop doubting, start doing. I love that. Action helps. I've seen a lot of people, myself included, procrastinating for weeks together, thinking that I'm analyzing and figuring things out, but actually not taking any action. So that's procrastination, is what I think now. It will all make sense in the end. I have questions here. Things should make sense on the way also. It should not be something magical which will appear only in the end. Right now, you just keep your head down and keep doing things, keep solving questions, 50 questions every day, never questioning anything, never doubting anything. Just keep at it. No, put in efforts, of course. At the same time, keep checking in with yourself. Are you really improving? Are things headed in the right direction? If you can't see that today, to just hope that suddenly at the end of 3 months you will be at your destination, that's tricky, no? So, yeah, things should make sense along the way, also, I believe. Every time you feel lazy, just remember someone else is solving the exact same questions going ahead of you. Hmm. Um, Personal. opinion. Let me, in fact, that's true for the whole video, I think. But anyway, let me be even more specific with this one. It's a personal opinion, but I'm not a huge fan of comparing with others. Somebody else might be solving that exact question at that time. Fine, yeah. If I'm right now feeling tired, if I've had a long day, I will give myself that break. I'm not going to tell myself, no, 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 you can't afford to rest. You have to study because otherwise somebody else will get ahead of you. Let them get ahead, by. My goal is to compare my journey with my own journey. Am I doing things better, in a better way, more efficient way? Have I learned from my mistakes? Am I improving in the way I am conducting my life, in the way I'm leading my life, in the way I'm preparing for this exam? I don't necessarily care much about what others are doing. And again, such stringent rules for yourself that even if you feel lazy once, you're failing. So instead of creating the whole format in a way that you achieve success, if you were not lazy for 4 hours yesterday, or if you were consistent for the last 7 days, that's an achievement. Instead of treating that as an achievement, even one occurrence of being lazy will be seen as failure. So the whole structure, I feel, is very negative. Huh? If you're doing things perfectly, then that's the base case. That's a hygiene factor. What's great about it? If you're doing anything even slightly less than that, you're a failure. That's how these things seem worded to me. I'd rather have it the other way. My baseline is much lower. If I'm hitting my targets, success. If I'm not hitting my targets, fine. Maybe I'm close to the targets or I can figure out how to get better. But my baseline is much lower than my targets. I'm not keeping my targets, my stringent targets, as my baseline. Hmm. That 1 hour break you're taking every 30 minutes, that's the reason you're stuck. This is funny. If, yeah, 1 hour break every 30 minutes does sound too much. I would get into more though. Why are those breaks happening? Is it that you're not enjoying what you're doing? Do you have to push yourself constantly? Because then that will wear off after a time. You won't be able to sustain it for a very long time. Right? Why is it that the mind and the body wants to get up after 30 minutes? That's the question coming to my mind. Look into that. Are you really enjoying the process? What is this? Do it for your damn self. All right, no comments here. How can anyone hate locking in and studying? Okay. It is so fun. Like I'm getting mentally ahead of someone who is doom scrolling. Interesting. So when I was just reading it, I felt very, very pleased when I read this word fun. It is so fun. But then I don't agree with their reasons for why it's fun. Their reasons for why it's fun, because if you are studying, then you are getting mentally ahead of somebody else. Again, comparisons. That's one issue I have. Somebody who is doom scrolling. I would rather enjoy the process of studying it for the sake of studying and learning itself. And that is possible, by the way. That's very much possible. So instead of thinking, oh, you have to do it, unfortunately, man, you have to go through this bad experience to get something good at the end, is not the only way to go about preparation. Think about it. If you're going to the gym to work out, sure, the goal is to get fitter, the goal is to get a good body. And while you're working out, you're lifting heavy weights, that's effort, right? That's effort. Your body is hurting, all those things are happening. Yet I find people who go to the gym regularly enjoy the process itself, not just the outcome. I can't speak for everyone, but I've seen many people who enjoy doing those hard things for the sake of doing those hard things also. Of course, the benefits they get are there, but they are enjoying the process itself. And I've seen this in GMAT, that the process can be enjoyed. Learning can be enjoyed. It can be fun to learn GMAT. You can look forward that, all right, let's do it again today. I look forward to it. Oh man, it's been such a long time. I didn't get a chance to prepare for the exam today. Tomorrow I'm not going to miss it because I enjoy it. Not because, oh, you have to do it, otherwise you'll be a failure and all. So fun, yes. Fun because you're getting ahead of somebody who's doom scrolling. All right, I have my reservations. Revenge seems to be a big theme. Okay. I'm sure studying doesn't suck as much as feeling will. Again, studying doesn't have to suck. It does not. You can enjoy it. And I can speak for CAT. I've taken that exam myself. I can speak for GMAT that the preparation for these exams, let me be clear, require a lot of hard work. They do require a lot of effort, but you can enjoy putting in that effort. That is possible. IIMB school, career, money, stability, lifestyle, dream life, freedom. You seriously need more reasons. All right. Now, this is not me as a GMAT coach. This is me as somebody who's done my MBA from an IIM. Hmm. So, to put things at a pedestal, that once I get that, then all these beautiful things will start happening. Then I will have a great career. I will have money, stability. I'll have a great lifestyle. I'll be living my dream life. That's an issue. There is, I can speak for myself. In childhood, things were always target based. One, it could be that my parents did that. It could be the conditioning because of the environment. It could be myself also. But many things were like, oh, bus, you do 10th, then you get science in 11th, then everything else is fine. Then you don't need to worry about things really. Then it became, oh, after 12th, you have just get admission into a good college, then everything is fine. You don't have to worry. Then it became a matter of, oh, you get your first job after your bachelor's, then things are sorted. Or you get into a good B school, then things are sorted. Or you get a good job after B school, then things are sorted. Things have never been started at any single stage. I don't believe things get sorted that way. I'm not going to get into philosophy here beyond this right now, but my experience that if you're looking at that one thing as this amazing magical destination that once you reach there, everything magical will start happening, perhaps you are setting yourself up for disappointment later. Hmm. Dreams demand sacrifice. Now, I started with putting a disclaimer that not necessarily I'm sharing the way I think, but I'm sharing the way at least I'd like to think. When I read this, the thought that came to my mind, sacrifice, where is that word coming from? For example, when I'm looking at, let's say, I'm watching a movie on Netflix, I'm enjoying the movie. At that point, I'm not thinking, oh, I'm making a sacrifice here, and all that. But when I'm preparing for GMAT, let's say, or some studying for something, then that's sacrifice. Where is that coming from? Perhaps from the thinking that I'm sacrificing because I'm doing something which I'm not enjoying, and instead I could be doing something that I would enjoy more. That's where the feeling of sacrifice potentially would be coming from. It goes back to my previous point. If GMAT preparation can be enjoyed, and if you start enjoying it, perhaps you would stop seeing it as sacrifice also. The person's name was written here. Come on, you can do it. Pave the way. Put your back into it. Tell us why. Show us how. Look at where you came from. Look at you now. All right. I'll not comment on this. Only chance. Interesting. Why the only chance? I took CAT 3 times. True story. I got into IIM Ahmedabad after my third CAT attempt. Maybe it's not feasible for everybody. Maybe that's not the way everybody wants things to happen or can afford things to happen. But still, only chance. This year it has to happen. Next year it will be too late. If it's going to be too late for you to do an MBA 1 year later, then it makes me question how valuable is MBA in the first place? That, oh, if even I were 1 year older, then MBA would not make sense for me. That doesn't sound like a very valuable thing. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a difference between ideally I'd want to get in this year itself. Of course, I'm not debating that. But because you want to get in this year, doesn't mean that it is your only chance. And why am I focusing on this? Because look at it as a tool to motivate ourselves. Oh, that's your only chance. You have to do it. Come on. I have started believing more and more that it actually creates pressure, which is counterproductive. Every time you sit down, you have this burden on your shoulders. Oh, it's your only chance. You have to make it work. On top of that, you're calling it sacrifice. On top of that, it's sucking for you. You're not enjoying it. And then you're still telling yourself it's the only chance. Of course, you're going to take 1 hour breaks every 30 minutes. Bruh, stop convincing yourself that you deserve a break. You haven't even earned that burnout. Stop faking. All right. All right. I'll not comment on the specific case here. I don't know what's going on. I will just say that burnout is real. Burnout is not an imaginary thing. And I would rather that you notice those symptoms of burnout early and take corrective action than to let burnout creep in, creep in, creep in, and then you reach a point where you want to study, but you can't study because from inside you are burnt out. So my suggestion is simple. Treat it like working out. For example, you go to the gym 6 days, you take a break one day, and then you repeat, or whatever that cycle is. Same thing here. Don't be afraid of taking breaks. Demand them. Put in so much hard work, and I don't necessarily mean hours, but put in so much focused effort, let's say 6 days a week, that you feel proud of taking that break on the sixth day, on the seventh day. So, yeah, I would rather not study this way that, oh, you don't deserve a break. Even 3 months, forget taking longer, but even 3 months without break doesn't sound very healthy to me. Completing your daily target and going to bed with satisfaction, the energy is unmatched. Sure. Now or never, again, the only chance. Why now or never? Maybe now or next year, maybe now or next attempt. Is it really that bad now or never? It has to be. So, yeah, these are my thoughts. My intention definitely is not to judge at all. Huh? I will repeat, I do similar kind of things many times also. So I am in the same boat. Just that through my GMAT experience, through my um, other experience in life, I have started at least questioning that maybe these tools that we use to push ourselves, to motivate ourselves, I've started questioning, are they really that helpful? Because I do notice there is a negative impact of many of this kind of motivation also. So what I've started wondering now is that, is the negative impact really less than the benefit long term? Plus, even if let's say it's less, is it still the best way to go about things? That the tool I'm using has a benefit, but it also has a negative impact and a significant negative impact. Isn't there a way to go about things in which there is no negative impact? Hmm. So, yeah, maybe the motivation board doesn't have to be made in a strict manner. Maybe the motivation board can be made such that you are making it for a younger brother or a younger sister. Think about it. I find this true many times that I'll be much more compassionate with a younger sibling than I would be myself in my mind. Is it that I'm more selfish? I care so deeply about myself that I'm willing to be strict, but not willing to be strict with my younger siblings. While that could be true, but again, the starting assumption is that being strict is the way to get better. You have to just sacrifice. You have to, everything else is secondary, right? Now or never, only chance, such big things. You need, and next time perhaps you'll need even bigger things than this. Because now those things will stop motivating you beyond a point. Then it might become a matter of life or death. But no, these things are not now or never. These things are not life or death. It's an exam, it's an education. I would suggest that think of it this way, bloody hell, even if I don't get a great GMAT or a CAT score, even if I don't get into a grade B school, so what? I will show the world, I will still make a great career for myself. An MBA itself is a means to an end, it's not the goal itself. Even if I don't have an MBA, I'll still make a great career. And even more importantly, career is one aspect. I will become an even better human being, right? And a better human being perhaps is true success. Career and all are just components. Chal.